My wife said, "We can fix this." I said, "We can't." I remember that night like it was yesterday. The rain tapped against the windows of our small apartment in downtown Chicago, the kind of drizzle that makes the city smell like wet asphalt and broken dreams. She was standing by the kitchen counter, her hands twisting the dish towel so hard I thought she might rip it. Her eyes were red, not from anger, but from the weight of everything we'd ignored for months, maybe years. "We can fix this," she said, her voice trembling. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw the woman I had loved in college, the one who laughed so loudly at my dumb joke, the one who stayed up with me when I was sick, the one who somehow made even our tiny apartment feel like a home. But I also saw the exhaustion etched into her face, the nights she cried silently while I pretended to sleep, the resentment that had grown between us like weeds. I swallowed hard. "We can't." She froze. For a moment, the world seemed to pause, the rain outside tapping a slower, almost mocking rhythm. She wanted me to fight, to argue, to promise we could start over, but I had tried. I had tried harder than I knew how. I had stayed late at work to pay the bills. I had said "I love you" more times than I could count. I had begged her to tell me how she felt before it got this far. And still, we had ended up here, in a place words couldn't repair. "I can't," I added, voice breaking. "Not when we don't even know who we are anymore. We're strangers living in the same space, holding on to a name that doesn't feel real." Her lips quivered. She opened her mouth, then closed it. There was a letter on the counter, my handwriting from 2 weeks ago when I tried to organize my thoughts. She picked it up, hands shaking. It was everything I couldn't say aloud. The fear, the regrets, the love that hadn't vanished but had quietly slipped through our fingers. I watched her read it, the tears rolling freely now, and I realized this wasn't just about us. It was about letting go before we hurt each other more than we already had. She put the letter down and walked to the window, staring at the wet streets below. "I guess we can't," she whispered. I nodded. I wanted to hold her, to tell her that maybe one day we could try again, but that would be a lie. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes the timing is wrong. The paths diverge, and no amount of wishing can bring them back together. I walked to the door, stopped, and looked back once. She didn't look at me. Her reflection in the glass showed someone I had loved fiercely, someone I still loved quietly, but someone I couldn't fix. I remembered the small moments, the lazy Sundays when we made pancakes and laughed at how badly we burned them, the way she'd curl into my chest after a long day, the little sticky notes she left in the fridge for me just to make me smile. Those memories stabbed at me now, sharper than any argument or tear. I thought about the years we spent together, trying to grow, trying to be a team, and I realized that sometimes growing apart isn't a choice, it's survival. I stepped out into the rain, letting it soak my coat, my hair, my shame. The city blurred around me, and for the first time in years, I felt completely alone. I thought about texting her tomorrow, maybe suggesting we meet to talk, but I knew deep down that any attempt would just reopen wounds that were already too raw to touch. The rain fell heavier now, mixing with the memories and regrets, washing the last pieces of certainty away. I kept walking, and maybe that was the only kind of truth left, the truth that loving someone doesn't always mean keeping them.